Yes, Council.
Nothing's happened.
You open that door.
I really did.
You're talking
I
about
was
the
supposed to
bottom
do.
down?
Bring it over. Hey, what are you in?
Hey.
What
What are you here for?
Oh, yeah.
I just
have mine.
needed entertainment.
Okay. How you been?
Unless you turn it upside down.
Oh, shit.
I think we're about ready. So this Kevin is on.
All right.
We're just checking to make sure it streams.
Oh, it's on.
Hmm?
It's on.
I got a red light, yeah.
Maybe he's got to tell them for some reason.
No, it's on.
Oh, you've got it on there, okay.
Oh, oh, wow. So you
Hi.
So you can leave then. I can. You can go sit there.
This council meeting is called to order in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Law. The meeting of August 2nd, 2021 was included in the list of meetings published in the Courier News and Star Ledger. Notice of this meeting was placed on the bulletin board of Borough Hall. In addition, a copy of this notice is available to the public, and a copy of the statement shall be included in the minutes of this meeting. Mayor Dennis Sullivan, council members, Granville Brady,
Here.
Jane Kabuta,
Here.
Tom Mitchell,
Here.
Randy Pitts,
Here.
Roger Broom,
Here.
Greg Weed.
Here. Please join me in the blessing. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have one set of minutes for approval from our regular meeting of July 19th. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Council members, Granville Brady,
Yes.
Jane Kabuta,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Roger Broom,
Yes.
Greg Weed.
Yes.
We have several departmental reports and notices. Two I'd like to highlight. Our next regularly scheduled meeting on August 16th has been canceled. So we will meet again the Tuesday after Labor Day, which I believe is September 7th, in this room at 6:30. We have a Division of Health monthly report for June, and a notice about National Night Out, which will be returning tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Down at Carroll-Pager Park, right across the street from the YMCA. I hope that everyone from the community can come back and give a rebirth to a fantastic community event. We'll have borough departments there. We'll have some philanthropic groups as well from the town. And, I will be issuing a chess challenge to the community, and Councilman Weed will be in the dunk tank. We probably will never switch those two roles as long as I have the gavel. But I would encourage people to come and just re-meet your neighbors that you may not have seen for 2 years. Promises to be a good night. The weather, I think, is going to be good. And I hope that you can join us at Carroll-Pager, 6 p.m. tomorrow. All right. The committee reports. I'll start with Mr. Mitchell tonight.
Okay. First of all, the Environmental Commission, I have asked them to look over a proposal, a citizen proposal to allow street trees to be placed on front lawns instead of between the sidewalk and the curb. This would be done, there would be a voluntary program, of course, that would allow people to have street trees who might not be able to accommodate them now because the sidewalks and the curb are too close, or because there's utilities in that area.
If I could just jump in, Tom, and clarify that. We have a few streets in town where there is no grass median between the curb and the sidewalk. And as a result, there's really no planting area for a tree. So this concept would allow trees to be planted inside the sidewalk. And again, it would be an individual decision and a voluntary decision. If you didn't have a median and didn't have room for a street tree, you would sign an agreement with the borough, and that would create a planting bed on your property that the borough would use and maintain the tree. So right now, for instance, on my property, I have a grass strip. If I wanted a tree, there's room to plant it. But we have several streets, I know Lincoln Avenue comes to mind. I think East Summit, I think Putnam, a couple Adams. There are a number of streets that don't have that capability, and there is no place to put a tree. So environmental will look at it.
And there are also some that have a grass strip, but it's too narrow for a tree.
So it's worth, environmental looking at it, making a recommendation, and then we can debate it at this table later on. Trees are important, and if we can figure out a way to do it with voluntary cooperation from homeowners, it's worth exploring.
Yes, indeed. My other report is that the county is going to be operating a vaccination site at Engine Company number 1 Firehouse, which is on 170 East Main Street. This Wednesday, day after tomorrow, from 3 to 7 p.m. So if you haven't gotten your vaccine yet, come out to Engine Company 1 Wednesday afternoon, and they'll fix you out. They're using the J&J vaccine, which is 1 shot. You don't have to worry about follow-up.
Kevin, could you make sure that's on our website?
Yeah, it's actually on our social media.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I have.
That's where I copied it
Yeah,
from.
yeah.
Good.
And that's all.
Thank you. Mrs. Good.
I had no report tonight, thank you.
All right. Mr. Betts.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have a few announcements tonight. First, we'll start with rec. Family Fun Ride is Monday, September 6th at 8:30 a.m. right on the world-famous Tour of Somerville bike course. Pre-registration to be eligible to win random giveaways from local merchants. All participants must wear a helmet and ride unassisted. $5 per family. The Summerville 5K Turkey Trot is Thursday, November 25th at 9 a.m. Registration is now open. Early bird pricing is $30 and is in effect for the month of August. DSA, which is Downtown Somerville Alliance News, they're taking resumes for the fall internship. If interested, please send resumes by Friday, August 6th. You can go to the Downtown Somerville Alliance website and get more information. The DSA would like to welcome Third Child Wellness Boutique to our downtown, our newest business going on Division Street. The grand opening is August 14th. Don't forget, the Starlit movie series is happening every Thursday evening until the end of August, and the Summer Stage Concert Music Series is every Saturday night through the end of October. Both events are on Division Street. I had the chance this past Saturday to attend Just Another Day kickball tournament at Exchange Field. It was such a good feeling to see hundreds of our Somerville residents come out together for such a fun time. It was hosted by Marquise Jackson. The proceeds go into the Simona Jackson Foundation. Just in case anybody wants to know, the winning team was called We Better Win. They took home the first place trophy. That's all I have.
It's good to see kickball back. There were, Mr. Meeker could remember the almost violent kickball games at the Central School parking lot back in the heyday when Central School was still there. There were, you think you're seeing competition at the Olympics. Yeah.
You try and get it over the fence and hit one of the teachers' cars.
No. There were some teachers whose cars were always a target. But there were some very competitive battles on the kickball court, which unfortunately continued into the classroom after the recess was over. And I remember those days well. But it's a fun sport. It's inexpensive and it's a lot of fun. So I'm glad to see it back.
A lot of fun.
I'm glad to see it back.
It will continue next year.
Good. Mr. Grove.
I have nothing this evening.
Mr. Grady.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Your Honor. Some of you may recall that in 2004, the Borough and the Medical Center entered into an agreement whereby the Borough would allow an elevated walkway to be built over Grand Avenue from Steeplechase to the main hospital. The agreement called for a payment from the medical center, an annual fee to the borough of $300,000 for 30 years. Since steeplechase was determined not to be tax exempt at the time, the property taxes paid by them were merged into the payment, into the total taxes paid by steeplechase. Well, last year, the medical center purchased steeplechase and took it off the tax rolls. The borough lost $500,000 annually in local tax revenue. So we revisited the ordinance number 2169, I have a copy here, gentlemen and ladies, that from 2004, and it was determined that the charges for the air rights is in effect and not impacted by any other financial agreements we have with the medical center, and we're now pursuing reinstatement of that agreement. Secondly, from time to time, I thought it might be a good idea to tell everybody a little about what we pay for in town. Tonight, I wanted to let you know that in March, we paid $90,392 for street lighting to PSE&G. The bill for April, May, and June was $119,607. I bring this up not only to remind people that it costs us a lot of money to heat our houses, in this case, the Somerville house. It also costs a lot of money if we have street lights that are out, since we still pay for the electricity of the street light. So if you notice any street lights that are not lit, let the Public Works know, or let the mayor know, and we will contact PSE&G and replace those street lights. And that's all I have, Your Honor.
To follow up on that, our police department sends a monthly report to the assistant engineer, who then logs into public service. The system was very cumbersome about a year ago, and we had a good number of lights out temporarily. It's gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
We don't pay by the hour, we pay by the pole, because they're not metered. So whether the light is on or not, we're paying. So again, public, if you do see a light out, hopefully we have picked it up, but what you would do is just, if you have time and you can do it safely, get the number off the pole. There's a medallion on the pole with a 5 or 6 digit number. That's what our police officers do and our engineers as well. But if you're out walking and you happen to see it, don't put yourself at risk. Don't go out there in the middle of the night, but if you can get that information to us, we'll get it to public service. We've pretty much gotten the backlog done, but we're always looking for citizen input. We need all of us working together. Lights are important, but they're also expensive. So thank you for that. Great. Mr. President.
So yeah, the only thing I have to report, you had mentioned already, I will be in the dunk tank tomorrow night at National Night Out. National Night Out is a very good community event. Of course, last year we missed it, but every year it's always nice to bring the community together, talk to people, and know that people, especially children, are out and learning about their community. The Municipal Alliance of Youth Services Committee will have a table there as well, serve as liaison on that committee, and they do a lot of good work. So please make sure to stop by to all the tables out there. That was all I have.
Thank you. A couple of things, mentioning what Tom said about the shot clinic. I was downtown last Friday night for the second shot clinic, and about a month ago, the first shot clinic served 4 people, which was 4 more people than had not had the shot, but it was somewhat disappointing. This past week, I stopped by around 7 o'clock, and in the first 2 hours, they'd given out 20. So I took that as an encouragement, thinking there'd be a few more by they closed at 7. So hopefully we'll continue to build that momentum. This week will be on Wednesday in the afternoon, and the county's been very good about looking for sites. They wanted sites to give out the surplus, and they've been very cooperative with us. We suggested Friday nights, so I was glad to see the trend had gone up and that we had more vaccines given. Hopefully that will continue. Everyone's favorite 5-letter word is on everybody's mind. That means taxes. The bills were supposed to be sent out, I believe, today. So if you have not gotten your bill yet, be patient. They're coming. The sewer bills came out about 2 weeks ago, but the tax bills are either in your mailbox or on the way. We had a delay in getting the certification from the state. As you know, there's many components of the tax bill. We had to wait until we got the final official numbers to get those out. The deadline for paying your taxes without penalty has been extended to the 27th of August. So that's for your property tax. I believe your sewer tax is still due by the 10th. I don't believe there's an extension, Kevin, on the sewer bills. So the sewer bills must be paid by the 10th without penalty, but you will have until the 27th to pay your taxes. I asked our CFO to do a quick study for me, as you probably know by now, I love numbers, and I was curious to see what the tax bill from 2021 came in at as compared with 2020. And again, we're using the somewhat arbitrary $272,000 assessed home, which is the average property assessment in Somerville, not the average property value, but the average property assessment. The total tax bill this year, and I'll round them up, is $210 on the average house total. Of that $210, $134 is an increase in your school tax, $62 is an increase in your county tax, which includes the regular county service, open space, and library, and the remaining $14 is the municipal tax increase for which this table is responsible. So I'll just repeat that number again. If you have questions, you can call our CFO when you get your bill. Total impact on the average home, $210 over last year, $134 to the school, $62 to the county, $14 to the municipality. So that's where your aggregate tax bill is. And again, if you have questions, you can call us, and Ms. Elster, our CFO, will be glad to go over it with you.
Mayor, the grace period at the last meeting, we did change the grace period for sewer billing and special improvement district.
We did. So there.
They would be the same as
There's
the
the
property
tax.
tax.
All right, so that all your taxes, thank you for the correction, all your taxes will be due by the 27th without penalty, which includes your service. You don't have to make 2 special trips. All right, one more item that I wanted to bring up. About 6 months ago, I started to receive calls from people in the hospital area about a property owner who was exercising his First Amendment rights to fly a flag with a political statement. And Jeremy, jump in if I wander too far off the field here. The flag, although it expressed an opinion, was not met with much support from the neighbors in the community at large. Again, we have a First Amendment, and it does protect people within the purview of that amendment. I talked to our borough attorney. We had discussions with the prosecutor. I believe, Jeremy, you reached out to the Attorney General's office as well. I was waiting to get some direction as to what action the municipality could take. We had private conversations from individuals on both sides of the political aisle to see if the gentleman would voluntarily remove the banner. That was not successful. I was waiting to pursue a legal remedy if one was available, but I just read in the paper on last weekend that a homeowner in Roselle Park is protected by the First Amendment when she decided to fly a blank flag on her property. Judge in the Superior Court has ruled in favor of the homeowner. I'm disappointed in the result, but we have a First Amendment which has been in place for 247 years. It's been the subject of debates at higher tables than this. I wish we could have reached an accommodation with the individual to do the right thing for the community. He insisted that he had the right to fly it. The courts have found in that case, which is very similar to ours, that the municipality overstepped its authority. The good thing about this is that had we pursued this case and taken it to its logical conclusion, we'd be in litigation. And litigations, more litigations than I care to at this table over the years. it's probably a battle we we're not gonna win. Jeremy, could you
As you
fill
know,
in the gaps, because I know I missed something.
well, as you know, Mayor, the concern wasn't that the homeowner was expressing a political opinion. The homeowner was expressing it very vulgarly in an area where children are passing by. And I think the neighbors were concerned about the effect on their
And
children.
it's in close proximity to the medical center.
Aside from the fact that the person expressing his opinion was doing so in such an unneighborly way, an ungentlemanly and unneighborly way. But we cannot regulate somebody not being nice to their neighbors. It's the First Amendment to not be a nice person to your neighbors. So if you want to be not a nice person to your neighbors, you're allowed to do that under the First Amendment. And I think it's critical. I think it's important to emphasize that we didn't spend a lot of taxpayer money fighting a losing battle. I consulted with the AG's office, I consulted with the police chief, Kevin and I spoke about it. We chased our tails for quite a while, but ultimately we came to the conclusion that as much as we don't like what this is going on and we wish we could do something about it, the First Amendment says we cannot regulate people not being polite to their neighbors.
And my hope going to both political parties was that if he wouldn't listen to one, he would listen to the other, and we'd at least reach some kind of accommodation, but that didn't happen. And I appreciated the efforts from both sides, but the court has ruled in his favor, and we're, unfortunately, we're sort of stuck with it.
You have to figure somebody who chooses to express themselves in such an unneighborly way is probably not going to be listening to reason.
It's the price of democracy, unfortunately.
It is too bad that he sees fit to link his political opinion to a gutter mouth phrase or word and cheapen it to that extent.
It's actually hard to take it seriously.
There's an old Irish proverb that an Irishman can tell you to go to HELL in such a way that you look forward to the trip. So there is a way to exercise your dissension without
Taking off your neighbors.
without subjecting the public at large to that. We'll continue to monitor the situation. I'll talk to some of the homeowners over there and let them know, what we've done. But I thought it was important for the public to know that we didn't ignore this. We were exploring avenues to keep us out of court and to get the banner down at the same time. We succeeded in one, but not the other. So hopefully no more to follow on that, but again, it's the price of freedom. It's not free. On that happy note, I'm done with my committee reports. We have one ordinance for public hearing and adoption tonight, 2644-21-0719, amending salary ordinance for employees with titles to be paid by the Borough of Somerville. I need a motion to open public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Council members Granville Brady,
Yes.
Jane Cavuta,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Roger Vroom,
Yes.
Fred Weed.
Yes.
Public hearing on this ordinance. Any comment addressed to me? Hearing none. Motion to close public.
So moved.
Second.
Council members Granville Brady,
Yes.
Jane Cavuta,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Roger Vroom,
Yes.
Fred Weed.
Yes.
Motion for adoption.
So moved.
Second.
Just a quick comment, this does not create any individual salaries, it just adjusts the salary ranges from a minimum to a maximum. Kevin, were there any new titles added to this?
There were no new titles, and there were adjustments made to minimum wage and things of that nature as we went through it, because we don't do this often enough.
We generally would do this the first of the year if there was a need. Okay.
Council members sorry.
No. Okay, roll call.
Council members Granville Brady,
Yes.
Jane Cavuta,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Roger Vroom,
Yes.
Fred Weed.
Yes.
All right. With the open public meeting section, I need a motion to open to the public.
So moved.
Second.
Council members Granville Brady,
Yes.
Jane Cavuta,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Roger Vroom,
Yes.
Fred Weed.
Yes.
Public comment period open. Step forward, name and address for the record.
Yes, Your Honor, Pauline, the Technology Coordinator for the Borough. I'd like to preface my comments first by reporting on the passing of Ruth Bauer over next door. Ruthie was 93. We saw her at many meetings throughout the years and obviously, a stalwart supporter of the borough. You have on for tonight, Resolution 239, which I'm assuming you'll act on. Tonight marks a milestone in our borough technology journey as we transition to a new service provider, KRS Consulting out of Clifton. For the past 26 years, we've been fortunate to have a shared service agreement with the Somerset County IT Department. This agreement was started in 1995 through the efforts of former Councilman Henry Kane. Back in 1995, we had no vision for what 2020 would bring. Throughout the past 26 years, we have enjoyed local and economically functional IT support from the team at the Somerset County IT Department. In 1995, we had no network in Borough Hall, and the county guided the design and installation back in the late 90s. Over the last 26 years, they have provided network, desktop, and upgrade support to a dedicated team of IT professionals. I would like to personally thank Bob Klingel, the director, Tom Galicki, the assistant director, Jim Sawyer, our network engineer, Tom Trojanowski, our desktop supervisor, and the entire county IT team for the past 26 years of support. We have now evolved into a 24/7 operation, which requires IT support around the clock, a service that the county team is unable to provide. Office 365, email, smartphones, tablets have all changed the way we deliver our services. And as Kevin can attest, we have a lot of special needs employees in Borough Hall that really need that extra special touch that I believe KTS will provide. KRS. We look forward to the support that they will provide as we continue to provide services to our residents and business owners. I fully support, obviously, this decision. Kevin and I have spoken, and again, it's a move in the right direction to keep that building going 24/7. Thank you very much.
Well, before you sit down, I just want to say from myself, having been, with you for all this time, you've been instrumental in moving us from writing on rocks to where we are today. And we couldn't have done, as well as we've done. There were lots of fits and starts, a lot of nervous times, a lot of down times, but we all learned together. And I thank you for shepherding us, novices through to the point where we can actually turn on our computers now.
And I look at Kevin's predecessor, who struggled at best, and obviously knew that the Windows environment was more than just that window. He looked out in the back. So again, Kevin, thank you for your support over the years, and I think we've kind of turned the curve, as they say.
Kevin, when you started, didn't we have an abacus in your office?
And a box of cigars.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I have a question.
Yes.
If we have a new fire and police station someday, will that service be used for them?
I'm assuming it's very expandable.
Yeah. I mean, currently we're not bringing this company into the police department now.
No, I understand.
They currently use an outside firm now. I would assume we would migrate them. I mean, it's outside the agreement point, so we'd have to kind of sit down and kind of meet with them. But they have that capability.
Thank you very much.
Again, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, here we no other public comment. Motion to close public.
So move.
Second.
Council members Granville Brady,
Yes.
Jane Kabuta,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Roger Vroom,
Yes.
Fred Weed.
Yes.
All right, consent resolutions. I would like to pull 236 and 238. Council, any of you?
239, please.
All right, I'll go through these. 231, a change order to North American Pipeline Services for sewer rehabilitation. 232, canceling the resolution which approved the Summerville Arts and Crafts Festival on Sunday, September 19th, which has now been canceled. 233 is approving New Jersey Triumph Association for our car rally on August 13th in front of the courthouse. 234, the Nova Club to utilize the same parking spaces on September 3rd from 5 to 9 for cruising. 235, cancel a series of uncollectible taxes. 237, approving the Central Somerset Crop Hunger Walk on October 17th. 240, approving a road closure for East Main Street from Grove to Bridge on Sunday, September 12th, from 8 to 8 for the Jazz Fest. 241, approving the Central Jersey Volkswagen Club to utilize the angled parking in front of the courthouse on August 27th. And 242, approving Chapter 159 for the State of New Jersey Municipal Alliance, and one additional walk-on. 243, amending a resolution supporting the application for an HDSRF grant to reflect the cost change for remediation of a portion of the land. Can I have a motion on this?
So moved.
Second.
Council members Granville Brady,
Yes.
Jane Cavuto,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Roger Vroom,
Yes.
Fred Weed.
Yes.
All right, 236, accepting the resignation of Brian Mess effective August 3rd, 2021, end of business August the 2nd, 2021, from our DPW.
So moved.
Second.
I would just like to wish Brian well. I've known Brian since I was his 4th grade teacher back in 1979. He and his twin brother Mark were hard to tell apart, but after working with him for a while, I was able to do that. Brian came to us from another municipality where he served in their DPW department as well, and he worked for us, I guess, about 6-7 years, Kevin?
7 years.
7 years, and he's relocating out of state. He's also a neighbor of mine, and I wish him well in his future endeavors. Roll call.
Council members Granville Brady,
Yes.
Jane Cavuto,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Roger Vroom,
Yes.
Fred Weed.
Yes.
238, accepting the resignation of Joseph Borough effective July 31, 2021, and authorizing final payment of vacation pay accumulated. Motion.
So moved.
Second.
Kevin, how long did Joe work for us?
I believe he was only here 2 years.
2 years,
He
but
took
still.
another position in another municipality.
You know, borough workers tend to become part of our borough family, even if they're only here a short period of time. And, DPW is an important job. It's you don't notice it until there's a problem, until the snow's piling up, or there's a pipe leaking or a tree down, and they're there on call 24/7. We're home relaxing, being comfortable. And DPW and PD are out there in all kinds of elements. So I wish Joe well in his endeavors as well. Roll call.
Council members Granville Brady,
Yes.
Jane Cavuto,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell, Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Roger Vroom,
Yes.
Fred Weed.
Yes.
All right, 239, awarding the contract to KRS IT Consulting for Informational Technology Solutions.
So moved.
Second.
Tom, you have
Yes, I just wanted to say, and I know I've brought this up before, but we have to be very cognizant of the danger of ransomware. We have to make sure that we have backup of all of our information offline, air gap, or whatever the term is that they use now, to protect our assets from this ransomware. Not a week goes by that you don't hear that some Russian mafia has held up some small town for tens of thousands of dollars by encrypting their data on their computers. So I just want to make sure that is part of this service that we are getting, is protection against ransomware.
Kevin?
It is, it actually, the firm is, that's their specialty. Actually, the owner of the company is an author as well, and he writes about cybersecurity. Where they differ from a lot of municipal sector issues is they primarily work in the corporate sector, which had tendency has a better system. They are required to provide, also a penetration test as part of their training for the employees. We do have another company that does that through the JIF, but they will do that as part of their system here as well. I know the councilman is absolutely correct. I sit on the JIF board. We've had, I think, 4 cases of ransomware already on the JIF board with other municipalities, with a big public sector, IT service program. So I'm hoping, that this company will certainly have a greater level of sensitivity when it comes to this. And again, like I said, that's kind of their background in the corporate sector. So, it is part of their responsibility. This is not a program that we're saving money on. So this is a program that's a high quality program. So we are spending substantially more than we've ever spent before on technology for those protections. But I appreciate the comments and we'll continue to work with them. I can certainly, after we have them on, I can bring them in. I know some of the certain council members are a little more savvier with the technology, and I can bring them in and certainly have that conversation with them.
Since our taxes only went up $14 and the school tax went up a heck of a lot more, what's their system to protect because they're in a much more difficult situation because there are children involved, and I just wonder what they.
I'm not familiar with
I think it would be a good idea, whoever, I don't know who does it right now, who reaches out to the schools, but to find out what kind of protection they offer, because we do have a lot of information about children, names, birthdays, addresses, what have you. And that was also something that we need to monitor as well, I would think.
Well, you work with
So Councilman, to your question, so, and again, a perfect example of having not elementary school children, but I have children that are college age and high school age, and they moved to a platform, a remote platform this year.
Right.
So obviously you have various levels of classrooms.
Everything's out there.
Correct, everything's out there. And I know that the school obviously uses multiple layers of security. One of the areas that, we had to work with was when COVID began many months ago, determining hotspots in town, where unfortunately not everybody had a hotspot. So the school got Wi-Fi hotspots from Verizon. We had a couple of situations that you may or may not have recalled where school children were being dropped off at the schools because it was a hotspot by the school. And that, obviously they took their Chromebooks and they were doing school in the schoolyard because they didn't have anything at home. So there is various levels, and Councilman Vroom, as an educator yourself, what you were dealing with your students, and the layers of protection that are needed for that. But the school obviously has a 21st century technology program that they use, and obviously we work close with them because they still do provide a shared service to us for our phone system. So again, that's something to reach out. I think it's a good point that what they're doing is to mirror with us what Kevin alluded to. This organization obviously protects corporations from potential ransomware, which is good. I know that they do work in Raritan. I'm not sure what they could hold ransom in Raritan, maybe a couple pizzerias, but again, it's a level that you need to look at and make sure you're protected.
Kevin, would you feel comfortable in talking to Brian Boyce to see?
Sure, absolutely.
Just tell him that we passed this, and maybe down the road there's an opportunity for shared service at the local level or even at the county level.
Sure, that's not a problem. I'll reach out again. And then, like Walt did mention, they just recently, about 8 months ago, took over the Borough of Raritan, and they're extremely happy with their services. This is a little different than what we're doing too. It's we're used to buying equipment. This equipment gets leased as part of the service, so we're always going to have new technology coming in. For years we used to fall behind on equipment and then come with a big number. This is very different than the philosophy we've had before. So, we're excited about this.
I had in my classroom at Central School, I had a Tandy computer, and I filled out a work order to have the repair gentleman come. And obviously a recent college graduate came in, and he just stopped and stared. He said, "That's a 5.5-inch floppy." He says, "Yeah, that's what we all have." He said, "I've only read about them." So that was the end of the repair. Technology, Do you remember a wall phone growing up? Yeah.
I remember the 8.5-inch floppies, big thing like this.
So time marches on. All right, we have a motion on the floor for this resolution?
So moved.
No, we have. We just need a vote.
Roll call. Council members: Randall Brady.
Yes.
Jane Cavuta.
Yes.
Tom Mitchell.
Yes.
Randy Pitts.
Yes.
Roger Vroom.
Yes.
Fred Weed.
Yes.
Before we do bills and vouchers, I have one item I failed to mention during my committee reports before. Although we're canceling our next meeting, a lot of important borough business that's going on. Over the last several years, we've had multiple discussions about the new emergency services facility on Gaston Avenue. We've gone through site study, site acquisition, needs assessments, various workshops. We're inching closer to that. It's my hope that with some hard work over the next month, we will have an ordinance. We have 2 ordinances that are in the hopper to prepare to make sure that that happens. So I'll direct administration and legal and the gentlemen and ladies on that subcommittee to try to work hard in light of the fact that we are going to be somewhat down as a group. There's still work to do. You each have committee assignments that are ongoing, even though we're not meeting as a formal body. It would be my hopeful intention to have something ready for the first meeting in September when we come back and make some final decisions on the ultimate pre-construction on that site. We're still a ways from breaking ground, but I think we're getting closer. And I think that once we're ready to announce the final result, the community will be pleased and proud of where we're headed. So more to follow on that, and we have some bills to pay.
Yes.
Quite a bit, I see.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to add, the reason that there is certain urgency is the bond market is always fluctuating. We're hopeful that the company we do business with, which will have to bond, obviously, everybody bonds for these improvements, will be able to get a favorable interest rate. And right now, it looks like the interest rates are pretty good. Having said that, Your Honor, I would like to pay some bills and vouchers to the tune of $2,485,136.91, and that is my motion.
I'll second that.
Council members Granville Brady,
Yes?
Jan Kavuta,
Yes.
Tom Mitchell,
Yes.
Randy Pitts,
Yes.
Roger Vroom,
Yes.
Greg Weaver.
Yes.
So I will move for adjournment.
I'll second that one.
All in favor?
Aye.
We will reconvene Tuesday, September 7th, 6:30, executive 7 p.m. for regular. Best wishes to our community for a continued healthy, safe summer. Stay Somerville strong, but also stay Somerville smart. As you're traveling, visiting, socializing, just watch the news. We're doing pretty well in New Jersey, but our paths may take us out of New Jersey over the next couple of weeks. We'd like to see you all come back in one piece after Labor Day. So enjoy the rest of your summer. We'll see you tomorrow night. Enjoy all of the summer activities in Somerville. Be Somerville strong, be Somerville safe. Thank you.
This time next week, I'll be in Georgia.